Resolve that trained school officials should be able to carry firearms in school. Again, I repeat, that trained school officials should be able to carry firearms in school. Guns would make school a safer place. If shootings occur, then teachers will be ready to protect the class. Also, as long as the gun carrier was trained, it would be all right. The teachers who don't want to have guns wouldn't need to have one. According to Austin, Texas's governor, Rick Perry, in 1991, a man killed 23 people before killing himself. And if people could protect themselves, the 23 people wouldn't have had to die. When the teachers take concealed carrying weapon training, they will learn gun safety. Teachers like Linda Seamers, who thinks it's a terrifying idea, wouldn't need to have training to carry a gun, but she couldn't have the gun in her class. They would keep the gun secure in a locked box, and the teachers would teach gun safety in the classrooms with the guns. School would be a safer facility if teachers carried guns. Guns would create protection for both students and teachers. If the only people who can protect themselves or other people are police officers, then more shootings would be fatal. Police officers may not be able to get to the school in time, and many people would be shot. According to a Nebraska lawmaker at a recent Nebraska shooting, school officials could have prevented the deaths of a student and assistant principal. Guns in the school may not have prevented the shootings, but controlled it. Therefore, teachers would protect the students if they would carry firearms. Although having guns wouldn't prevent the shootings, it may help eliminate them. In Canada, some schools have guns in the classrooms. In 2007, a 9th grader told his parents that he was going to attack the school. This incident couldn't have been prevented, but it could have been helped. As you can see, shootings can be decreased with the right protection. If teachers have guns, everybody would feel safer about their town's children. In small towns, everybody knows each other and cares about each other. If someone is shot in the school, everybody would worry. According to Eric Howard, the students made fun of the teachers who carried guns, but now they understand that the teachers are just trying to protect them and their family. Families will feel better if there are guns in school. School will be safer if school officials are able to carry firearms in school.
Questions?
Can I start whatever?
Yep.
Okay. How can the guns in school not prevent shootings yet eliminate them at the same time? And how could the ninth grader shooting, how could it have been not prevented yet helped? I don't get that. And then teachers with guns would not make everyone feel better, because why would that make everyone feel better? You don't have any really evidence for that. And if the guns are secured in a box, how will the teachers be able to access them quickly in the case of an emergency, if that would help at all? And why do the schools not have security people? Because not all schools are in small towns with less policemen. And how can guns in school not prevent the shootings? This time? Okay.
Do you want a minute of prep?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. The negative beliefs that trained school officials should not be allowed to carry firearms in school. I recognize that the affirmative beliefs trained school officials should be allowed to carry firearms in school. Again, I repeat that the negative beliefs trained school officials should not be allowed to carry firearms in school. My first point is guns in school are dangerous. Guns in school will only cause more problems because of misuse. Even with training, many people often miss their target. Anything can happen, and there could be more emergencies. Stacey teacher Catherine, reporting for the Christian Science Monitor on January 19, 2011, wrote, "The senior trainee at Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence citing, even law enforcement officers who are highly trained often miss their targets in shooting. The risk of children finding a gun or a gun accidentally discharging and injuring people. Therefore, by the evidence I've given, it proves that teachers shouldn't be allowed to carry guns in school." My second point is that teachers with the gun would only make school shootings worse. What I mean by this is if teachers had guns during a school shooting, then there would have just been more killings. Evidence for this comes from Kevin O'Hanlon writing for the Lincoln Journal-Star. He writes in the article, "School gun bill opponents, state teachers should be teachers, period." Brian Hill, Director of Communications for the Nebraska Association of School Boards, saying, "We're running schools here. It just to us seems that the safety of schools is going to be ensured by having fewer guns in that building," Hill said. "If any of the staff at Miller thought had been carrying guns," he said, "we would have just had an extra puddle of blood in the office. Based on the evidence I have given, I can say that if teachers had guns in school, they would only make school shootings more dangerous. My third point is that if teachers had guns, they would only send the message to students that in order to be safe, you need a gun. My evidence for this, or what I mean by this, is that students look up to their teachers. If their teacher had a gun, then they would be more likely to think that you need a gun to be safe. My evidence for this is from Globe and Mail, Toronto, Canada, reporting on September 1st, 2008. They said, "Army teachers sends the wrong message to students and the rest of the community. Like capital punishment, it is a violent society's answer to violence. Rather than being a deterrent, it gives the state's approval of violence. Therefore, by the evidence I have given, it proves that if teachers had guns in school, they would only send a message to students that you need to have guns to be safe. My fourth point is that if a teacher had a gun, they would mess up the student-teacher relationship. What I mean by this is, if a teacher had a gun, then the student would only respect them because of their gun as opposed to their personality. My evidence comes from Globe and Mail, Toronto, Canada, on September 1st, 2008. They report that a school that permits teachers to carry concealed guns has corrupted the student-teacher relationship. Rather than a teacher's authority deriving from his character or his role, it will inescapably derive in part from his weapon. Therefore, by the evidence I've given, it proves that if a teacher were to have a concealed weapon in the school, they would then damage the student-teacher relationship. The fifth point for this is teachers don't even want to have guns. These teachers would rather have books and worksheets to teach with. My evidence for this comes from the Christian Science Monitor, January 19, 2011, written by Stacy Teacher Cataroo, quoting Ken Trupp, a consultant with the National School Safety and Security Services firm in Cleveland. He said the vast majority of teachers want to be armed with textbooks and computers to teach in the classroom, not guns. They don't want the responsibility, that liability, and it's not their professional focus. Thus, by the evidence I have given, I can say that most teachers don't even want to have guns. My sixth point for no guns in school is that even with training, a person usually misses their target. What I mean by this is even police officers miss their targets most of the time. My evidence for this point comes from Current Events, a weekly reader publication, October 6, 2008. They wrote Brian Siebel noting that even police officers hit their targets less than 20% of the time. Thus, by the evidence I have given, I can say that even with training, a teacher will most likely miss their target. My seventh point of evidence is that with guns in school, kids will be most likely to be harmed by these guns. What I mean by this is that kids could get hold of the guns and misuse them. Also, most kids are not killed at school. My evidence for this is from Current Events, a weekly reader publication, October 6, 2008. Says, "This is a dangerous overreaction to a non-problem," says Brian Siebel, an attorney at the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence.
Time. Any other questions?
Okay. Why would it create more emergencies? And then why does it send the wrong message? Why would it make the situations worse? How would it cause more killings? Didn't give much evidence for that. And how would it mess up the student-teacher relationship? Doesn't have much evidence. And then, why don't some teachers want to have guns? Because they normally would like to protect the students. And why would more people be harmed with guns in school? That's
Okay, do you want a minute of prep?
feel better because everybody cares and wants the town to be safe. And for the guns being held in a secure box, only the teachers could have access to the guns. Security officers may not have a gun with them at all times, and they also may not even have time to get to the classroom or where the shooting is being held. It would cause less shootings because the shooter or the attacker would be more afraid to go to a school with guns than a school without guns. In the 9th grade shooting, when the 9th grader told his parents that he was going to attack the school, if the school had guns, he may not have attacked the school at all. And also to have, if they don't miss their target, they would have more training, in a school setting when they're being trained so that they don't miss their target. And
Do you need a minute of prep?
Yes, please.
Time?
Okay. For why more guns in school would create more emergencies, because the teachers might accidentally misuse the gun, or they could go off on accident in their locked boxes. And they would send the wrong message because students look up to the teachers, and so do some people in the communities. And if the teachers had guns, then they would just send the message to the community that you need a gun to be safe, when really you don't, or you don't need violence to be safe, is what that means. And then why they would make shootings worse is because teachers might miss their targets. Like I said before, police officers hit their targets less than 20% of the time. And why more people would be harmed with guns is because during the shootings are rare, and Brian Siebel says that less than 20% or less than 1% of children killed by other people happen at school. Also, the 9th grade shooting, his parents could have just called the police. He told them that he was going to the school. They could have called the police, and he could have been helped, and he could have been sent to a counselor, and then they would have found out why he wanted to shoot the school. Having guns in the school would probably just have killed him, and he would have lost more lives anyways. And even with the training on site at the schools, teachers having trainings in the school setting, they would still probably not have as much evidence, or not have as much capability to shoot straight, because even police officers usually miss their targets. And why teachers wouldn't want guns is, do you really want to have a gun on you all the time? I mean, some people might because they believe that that's how to be safe with more violence, but some people don't, and they wouldn't want a gun because they just don't want a gun. And not everyone lives in a small town where they know know everyone. So even if that would make it better in small towns, there are a lot of schools that are not in small towns that they don't need guns in those schools because they can afford police officers in the schools. And the box with only the teacher access, well, if the teacher didn't have a gun, then they wouldn't know the access code, so they wouldn't be, if the teacher didn't want a gun, they wouldn't know the access code, and they wouldn't be able to help in case of an emergency. And also, you said that the officers may not be able to get to the shooting in time. Well, they should have, if the school is too big for one officer to be able to cover in enough time to save the people for the shooting, then they should have more than one officer.
Fine. You want to prep? Minute of prep?
Nope.
Okay.
So, resolve that trained school officials should be able to carry firearms in school. Guns would make school a safer place, and the teachers would try hard not to miss their targets. It would create protection for both students and teachers. There would be less deaths in the school and more protection. It would also help eliminate the shootings. Everybody would feel safe if there were guns in school. With guns, the families would be more willing to have their students going to school, and if there's a shooting, and they wouldn't be as afraid. If the teachers had firearms, then they would be never mind. Resolve that trained school officials should be able to carry firearms